I'm going to show you how to make these lovely little mushroom decorations for your Christmas tree. Stems are made from a stick, and the top is just plaster of Paris poured into an eggshell. They're really simple to make and look so magical hanging on the tree. Here's what you'll need to make them. A stick or twig, plaster of Paris, water, some strong thread, acrylic paint, and a paintbrush, and an egg box and some eggshells. Please make sure they're from free-range chickens. Happy chickens make better egg mushrooms. Cut or snap some sticks into lengths of about 7 centimetres, and I like to shave the bark off at one end, but you can skip this part if you like the way the bark looks. Now I'm going to prepare the eggshell. I've washed it out, and I'm going to make a little hole in the centre to push my hanging thread through. Take your thread, make a loop, and then tie a knot in one end. Thread the loop through the egg, and then we'll secure it in place with a little bit of tape, and this will also stop the plaster leaking out. If you want it to make it easier to peel your mushroom out of the eggshell, you can rub a bit of Vaseline around the inside of the eggshell. Repeat these steps until you've got a stick and threaded eggshell ready for every mushroom you want to make. An egg box will hold the moulds in place, and I've cut off the tab to make a little support for the stems. Now we're going to mix up the plaster of Paris. I'm making 3 mushrooms, so I'm going to mix 3 tablespoons of plaster of Paris and 2 tablespoons of water. I'm reusing a rinsed out cherry tub left over from making my Christmas cake and from making some Star Wars decorations. Reuse plastic where you can. This tub is great for mixing small quantities of plaster of Paris and for holding cherries. Stir it gently and mix everything together thoroughly. It should have the consistency of a thin, runny custard. Plaster of Paris will start to set as soon as you mix it. You've got about 25 minutes after you pour in the water before it starts to set hard. Pour the mixture into the egg moulds and cover up those little knots. They will grip onto the plaster, making sure the mushroom stays attached to the hanging thread. Now I'm going to use that little bit of cardboard to help me support the sticks as I push each one gently into the egg. You can use clothes pegs too. They just need a little bit of support to stop them falling over. Then leave them to set for at least 30 minutes, but ideally overnight. When they're fully set, you can start to peel your mushrooms. Peel them like they're a hard-boiled egg. If you leave them to dry overnight, it's a lot easier to get them out of the moulds. I forgot to rub these shells with Vaseline, so there's a lot of piggling involved here. Each eggshell will be unique, so every mushroom you make will be a little bit different, and all the more special for it. If you want to add gills to the underside of the mushroom, you can use a needle or a sharp craft knife to score little lines from the stem to the edge all the way around. This is my grandma's hat pin. I don't wear hats very often, but I do like to use this pin in my craft projects, and I think of her every time I do. Brush away any dust and admire the gorgeous little mushroom you've just made. And have a think about what colours you might want to paint it. I'm using acrylic paints in a red and a burgundy and a brown. You'll only need to paint the cap. The underside can be left white, unless you fancy making a mushroom with colourful gills. I've got a blob paint, and that helps me create textured spots to finish it off. I use bigger spots at the top, going down to smaller spots to make it look a little bit more realistic. And that's your finished mushroom decoration, straight out of a magical woodland. In Victorian times at Christmas, people would send each other greeting cards with red and white spotted mushrooms on for good luck. There is a theory that this is how Father Christmas got the red and white colours for his suit. So perhaps these mushrooms are lucky too. I hope you love making them just as much as I do. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more creative crafting projects. Happy Christmas, and may all your egg mushrooms be lucky.